Tuesday on the Just Baseball Show. It is Tuesday, April 19th. Jack McMullen, Peter Apple. We're talking about the power rankings that just went up after the first week and a half of ball games. Peter is not necessarily a good friend and colleague and hasn't read them yet, so I'm going to walk it through for him. I think he saved him for the sake of the show, though.
Yeah, that you framed that like I'm some dickhead, and I just decided not to look at them. The point of this is that you present them to me, and I tell you where you're wrong, where you're right, how I'm feeling about the current power rankings. But how did you set them up? Like, what is the criteria for this? Is this your top 30 teams that you think will be the best at the end of the year? Is this current? What are we dealing with here?
So I worked with a dartboard.
Okay.
I pasted team logos on a dartboard. And then whenever I didn't have a sharp pain in my abdomen, I would just slot them in at that spot. So whenever I felt deep in my soul that it was wrong, I would throw another dart at the dartboard. But aside from that, it was really just like throwing darts. I had a blindfold too.
You should have done that during March Madness. You probably would have ended up better than your actual bracket did.
You're correct. Yeah. No, that's an every week, or that's an every year thing for me. Like, people say, hey, what do you think about, this team in my Elite Eight? I'm like, dude, I don't fucking know. I had Iowa in my Final Four.
I had Iowa too but I did believe it. I did like
it all makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It all makes sense that Kentucky's going to the Final Four and then Doug Edert shows up.
But I need you to actually describe how you came to these power rankings, because you throwing them at a dartboard, I don't know how you're ranking them, so I don't know how to react right now.
So I looked at who's trending in what way. I looked at who's going to be healthy, who's started hot. I've also looked at record, because record is a massive deal in terms of power rankings. And then I looked at a lot of team numbers, team OPS, team WRC plus, home run numbers, stolen base numbers, ERA, bullpen ERA, starter ERA, things like that. So I pretty much just, clumped a bunch of teams together in tiers and started to separate from there.
This is more current? For example, the A's, like the A's are going to be an interesting rank here. Are we looking at the A's still towards the bottom because that's where we see them entering or
Yes.
ending up, or the A's closer to the top because they have the most runs scored in baseball as we're recording, which is just insanity when you think about it?
No, I'm out on that. And those types of lists don't do anything for me, because I think we know while watching the A's that they're not a top 15 team in baseball, even though they're scoring the most runs.
Sean Murphy
is a top 10 catcher. Absolutely.
Top 10 catcher.
Murphy's got an ass. He's got an unbelievable ass. He is commented on his ass because it went viral earlier this week. But Sean Murphy, the strikeout bug has bit him in the early goings of this season. But when he is putting bat on ball, it's going a very long ways. He's an exceptional defensive catcher. And I wrote in this power rankings, maybe Sean Murphy's bolstering his trade stock right now, because that's what the Oakland A's look at, right? If you play baseball well, you're just a better trade chip for them.
It's exactly how they do it. So are the A's number 30?
The A's are not number 30. Do we want to go 30-1 or 1-30?
I think we got to go 30-1.
Okay, that's fine. The Reds started as the 21st best team in baseball in our preseason power rankings. They're dead last. They're 2-8. They had the worst team OPS through Monday, and they had the second worst staff ERA through Monday. So they're the worst hitting team in baseball, speaking in generalities, and they're the second worst pitching team in baseball. Was Hunter Green incredibly exciting to watch on Saturday? Absolutely. But is there anything else going on? No.
Checks out. They have the worst current run differential at -24, and they're 2-8. My thought is, Jack, do you think that at the end of the year, the Cincinnati Reds will have the worst record out of every single team?
I don't. It's just they are so demoralizing right now because of Phil Castellini's comments and because, Joey Votto can't hit shit right now, which is bizarre.
India's been day-to-day too. I mean, the only real bat they have in their lineup currently, if Votto's been dealing with stuff and India's been day-to-day, is Tyler Stevenson. And he's good. He's a good catcher, but come on now.
I was talking to Clay Snowden yesterday on the phone, and he said Aristides Aquino is playing every day. And he says he can't do it right now because Aquino's in the lineup every day.
Yeah. I understand why they're number 30. They're currently playing like the 30th best team. And unless these rookie pitchers can really take hold this year and become dominant, because even like a guy like Luis Castillo, their best pitcher, hasn't even recorded an inning yet. It's just Tyler Mahle. And when Tyler Mahle goes on the road, he gets absolutely, or when Tyler Mahle pitches at home, he gets creamed. So you got half of a really good Tyler Mahle.
Yeah, but when he was on the road this past weekend, he got smoked. You see that?
Yes, his home road splits. He is a guy who gets crushed on the road, not at home.
No. He gets crushed at Great American Ballpark, which is his home ballpark, and he performs well on the road. But this past weekend, he was horrible on the road, which didn't make any sense.
So many different splits. I'm just thinking every morning. Let's move on to 20.
No, yeah. Splits God's black. Splits God is back. Arizona is 29. Arizona stole one from the Mets. They hung around with the Mets a couple of times, but like you watch the Diamondbacks, you look at their roster, there's nothing going on there.
Shout out Merrill Kelly, though. One of 6 pitchers currently as we record, 2 starts, 0 earned runs. Velo is up too. It's up almost 2 miles an hour from last year. He's someone to watch. Zach Gallen also looked good. Ketel Marte is still a good player. Seth Beer.
Okay, so Beer's got an OPS over 1,000 through his first 8 games. Nobody else has an OPS over 704. Only guy with an OPS over 700 is Cooper Hummel.
That's not a winning formula.
Not at all.
Not at all.
And Seth Beer can't play defense anywhere.
But he does hit.
But he hits. On National Beer Day, he hits. Baltimore's 28.
Even after they dominated the Yankees.
Yeah, because John Means is on the 60-day IL.
They seem a little low, but let's move on. Let's continue because, yeah, they currently have the worst run differential in the division, but they haven't been as bad as I think 28 is.
Interesting. Texas is 27.
I know they're 2-7. They have not been playing well. The offense has been good, but the pitching is just a disaster. They've given up the most runs in baseball outside of the Washington Nationals.
Yeah, so they've got the highest staff ERA in all of Major League Baseball. Here's the thing about Texas. The offense is exciting. The offense has the pieces, of course. Marcus Semien is not playing very well right now. Corey Seager, according to Joe Madden, is the next coming of Barry Bonds. Okay, the bats are great. We were able to pinpoint, I think everybody was able to pinpoint before the year started, after they spent $500 million on a middle infield, that they still didn't have any starting pitching. John Gray was a 1, but you got to worry about 80% of the time. And like the 2 and the 3 are Dane Dunning and Spencer Howard. They're not good pitchers. You don't have a good pitcher on this staff aside from John Gray.
And they don't have much bullpen either. My thing is, though, are they really this low? They might be. Like, we haven't heard the A's yet.
Okay, but the A's are the best offense in baseball right now.
All right.
Kansas City's 26.
Sorry, Kansas City. They have been so bad. They can't score.
Here are the guys with a batting average under 200 through the first 9 or 10 games.
Give it to me.
Sal Perez, Bobby Witt Jr., Whit Merrifield, Adalberto Mondesi, and Carlos Santana.
That's all their best players, Jack.
I know Andrew Benintendi's standing on his head right now, but
yes.
Okay, so there are the bats. We haven't even talked about the pitching yet. I played a game with Ryan Miller on our new podcast, State of the Division. AL Central episodes out today. Me and Miller are going through the AL Central every Tuesday. You and Colby did a great job with the AL East on Monday.
Thank you.
But I played a game with Miller. I asked him in or out on these young pitchers for Kansas City. Let's play this game again, rapid fire. You ready? Brady Singer, in or out?
In.
Okay. Firmly or no?
Not firmly.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Coar.
Out.
Lynch.
Still in. Hate it, though. But
ever
still
so slightly.
Yes, I'm still in. The lefty with the slide. I can't be out yet.
And Bubic.
He sucks, low-key.
Yeah, there's a chance they went 0 for 4 with that. And Lacey can't throw strikes at high A last year or double A this year.
They all have just stuff, though, if they could just harness it. But I'm not out on Singer. I'm not. That one I will be firmly, I'm not out. Bubic, I think, sucks. Every time I watch him, I'm like, what are we doing here? This is not one of the elite young arms. This is a lefty. He's a lefty.
It's brutal, dude.
It's
and then
brutal.
Lynch, I want Lynch to be good so bad.
He could be disgusting.
Could be gross, but he's not.
Not yet. Not ready yet.
But how is he not ready yet? Isn't this year 3 for him?
Yeah. I mean, or 2. But isn't Lynch the youngest of them all?
Maybe. That sounds right. Maybe by a year, but they're all kind of the same age.
Regardless, they're in a tough
One
spot.
of them has to pan out. Like with the
One of them
Tigers,
has to pan out.
Skubal panned out. One of them needs to pan out for Kansas City. And I'm holding out hope that it's Singer. I don't know if Singer's going to pan out, even in a way that Tarek Skubal did. Oakland's 25.
Leading the league in runs scored.
I know.
Crazy.
Dalton Jeffries has put together an incredible start to the year.
Paul Blackburn is elite.
Yeah, great. Pittsburgh has jumped 4 spots from 28 to 24.
They win games.
How?
They win
That's my
games.
big question. They won a game on Sunday with Jose Quintana as the starter and Jake Marisnik as the leadoff hitter.
Haven't you noticed, though, that the Pirates are really good at beating up on the other worst teams, and then they go face a good team and it's dicey?
Correct.
Yeah, they beat up on the Nationals and they beat up on other teams like that. That's who they beat.
So here's the thing. Instead of being the 3rd worst team in baseball, you can be the 7th worst team in baseball.
But they're at least trending up. They have a plan with Ben Cherington, their new GM. I like where the Pirates are headed a lot better than some other teams that we've already talked about.
Oh God, don't text that in Just Baseball. We had a big discussion in there about Ben Cherington and the Pirates direction.
I'm on Miller's side with that.
I'm on Miller's side
I like what
too.
the Pirates are doing.
Hey,
Yeah.
as an Indianapolis Indians employee, I'm absolutely on the Pirates side there. The Nats are 23.
Yeah, it's a good spot for them. 4-7, -16 run differential. They cannot pitch. They cannot pitch. We just talked about the most runs allowed. Washington Nationals are number 1. They cannot pitch. Josiah Gray looks good so far, but beyond that, it's dreadful.
Dude, Corbin is just lost.
Lost.
That's horrible to watch.
Horrible to watch. And Strasburg, let's see if we get anything from him this year.
Probably not.
good.
Soto, what do you think his OBP is through 11 games?
Like 450.
460. How many walks do you think he's drawn?
In how many games?
11.
13.
12. Yeah.
God, I'm
12
so
walks.
good at this.
You're great at it. Good job, Peter. 12 walks and a 460 OBP through 11 games.
Technically got both wrong, though.
Well, but
Just
how
congratulated
crazy is it though that like those numbers might actually hold as the year goes on?
That's because that's what I assumed he'd be at, and then he's going to continue to be at.
Right, which is crazy. Like Jose Ramirez is hitting like 480 right now. That obviously that won't continue. But Juan Soto with a 460 OBP, we're not looking at that and like, oh God, that's way too high.
But you know who has Juan Soto's number? JT Brubaker.
Brubaker in his
0 for
9.7 ERA.
0 for 3 off JT Brubaker. Round 1 goes to Brubaker. Round 2 went to Brubaker. Round 3, you guessed it, went to JD Brubaker when the Pirates faced the Nationals in one of the best series that we've seen so far this year.
God, let's go, bro. Mitch Keller and JT Brubaker have combined to allow 16 runs in 15 innings. The 1 and the 2 for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Okay.
Both have ERAs over 9.
How's Quintana doing?
Quintana is doing better than that. I think Quintana's ERA is sub 5, which is so exciting. So exciting. Don't make that sound. Gross. 22 is the Tigers.
That's too low. That's too low. It's too low.
You watched their pitching?
Yes, I have watched their pitching. They faced some good offenses. I don't think Erod is bad. I think Skubal is good. I don't think Casey Mize is bad. Erod's not terrible. He's not good.
He looks terrible right now.
Yes, right now he doesn't look good. He doesn't look terrible. No. You know who looks terrible? Like Patrick Corbin looks terrible. Erod doesn't look terrible. He just doesn't look what we expected him to be. I think they will be better than 22. That's my first problem. I think they're better than that.
Okay, interesting. 21 is Minnesota. They were preseason 13. They dropped 8 spots.
Give me the Tigers over the Twins.
You sure?
No, but I do think it right now, and that's the point.
Minnesota, Buxton, thankfully no structural damage, but like he's made of glass. Sano can't touch a baseball. Correa is not hitting right now. He's gonna be fine.
They've given up the most runs in the division, and they've scored the third most in the weakest division in the sport.
Yeah, you think the AL Central is weaker than the NL Central?
It's pretty close.
It's close.
It's almost exactly even.
Yeah. Interesting. Leave it to the Midwest.
You know what? I think the NL Central is a little bit better because I think the combination of the Cubs and the the Cubs and the Cardinals and the Brewers.
The Cubs?
The Cubs?
All right, the Cubs are at 20. They climbed 4 spots. They were preseason 24. They're 20 now.
Cubs and the Tigers both over the Twins.
Okay, interesting. Well, you got the Cubs over the Twins for sure.
Which I like.
Seiya Suzuki through his first 9 major league games. He's hitting 400 with 4 bombs, a 543 OBP, and a 960 slugging.
Let's talk Seiya Suzuki for a second, because in terms of barrels, so what a barrel is you're going to hear that maybe thrown around on a broadcast. You might see it at one of our articles. We use the term barrel, and barrel isn't just, we hit the ball hard. They actually quantified what that means. It's balls hit over 95 miles an hour between an optimal launch angle between 18 to 34 degrees. That's line drive territory. That's home run territory. You want to be in that launch angle for optimal success in baseball. Seiya Suzuki is currently number 2 in barrels per plate appearance. Giancarlo Stanton is number 1, 20%. So every 5th plate appearance, he's hitting a ball over 95 miles an hour between 18 to 34 degrees of launch angle. Seiya Suzuki tied with Aaron Judge for number 2. He is raking.
He's the truth. Codify, there's a link to this tweet in the article, by the way. Justbaseball.com is where you can find these power rankings and descriptions under each team. I linked a Codify tweet here. Seiya Suzuki, a bit of an outlier. He's swung the bat 41 times. He's got 24 total bases, 41 swings, 24 total bases. Average MLB hitters per 41 swings, 7.5 total bases. So he's more than 3 times better at accumulating total bases per swing than the average major leaguer. So there's that info. Do with it what you will. The Rockies are 19.
Should be higher.
I don't know. I listen, you know that I'm the biggest Rockies truther on the planet right now. And they climbed 7 spots from 26 to 19.
I regret not jumping on the bandwagon earlier because now they're the team I most commonly bet on. I love the way they match up. Their offense is real. Dude. They can hit. Elias Diaz. I saw a tweet by Foolish Baseball that there was a couple players who haven't swung through a strike in the zone yet. Elias Diaz made that list.
Yeah, dude.
Elias Diaz made that list. CJ Cron is currently tied with Vladdy for the most home runs in baseball. You got Chris Bryant. Connor Joe is a beast. They kind of roll.
And here's the thing. Brendan Rodgers was one of the more fun guys to watch when we were looking at this lineup preseason. And Brendan Rodgers isn't swinging the bat well at all right now. But Ryan McMahon is swinging it really well. Chuck Nasty's still great to watch. This offense is genuinely exciting.
Genuinely exciting. And the best bullpen ERA in baseball at the time of recording. The Colorado Rockies and Alex Colomé are dominating.
Are you sure? I thought the Yankees were the best.
It might have been the day before they were. I think they had a bad little blip there. Okay. Now they're not number 1, but they were the last time I checked the bullpen ERA leaderboards. I think you are right, though, currently.
Okay, so you say Colomé. I say Daniel freaking Bard. That dude is he shoved. Well,
he throws 100, right side, whippy, throws cheese.
The Guardians are directly above the Rockies.
You mean the team with the greatest player on the face of the earth? And it's not Stephen Kwan. It's not even Jose Ramirez. It's Owen Miller.
Yeah.
500 batting average, 330 WRC plus, leads all of baseball in both of those statistics.
Yeah, I promise that'll go down.
Are you sure?
Yes, positive.
I don't know.
I'm
You don't
absolutely
think Owen
positive.
Miller is going to hit 500?
Okay, so like obviously Stephen Kwan and Owen Miller are stealing the headlines right now because Kwan was amazing off the jump. He started his career 8 for 10, and then Owen Miller's hitting 500 at the time that we're recording. But J Ram is hitting 457
Yeah.
with 3 bombs, 15 RBIs, a 1386 OPS, and in 40 plate appearances, he struck out twice.
He's so on his game right now. There was he hit a sack fly in a game that I was watching, and the guys on the broadcast, they were talking about how Jose Ramirez in certain situations, he just does exactly what you needed him to do. Because what they needed, it was less than 2 outs, runner on third, and instead of Jose Abreu lining up to trying to hit a home run, what he did is he didn't even stride when he was at the plate, and he just got his barrel under the ball and just hit a fly ball. That was what his job was to do. And he did it exactly that. He didn't even like really coil either. It was just set, just swung the bat up, got his fly ball, got his RBI. It was an out, but it was incredible to see his bat control at work.
And it doesn't go as an out. It's a sack fly, baby. I think Jose Ramirez and Cleveland, Ohio, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, are a match made in heaven. I think that Jose Ramirez has adopted the identity of Cleveland and being a Cleveland Guardian.
It's cool.
It's really cool. So
and the pitching looks good. Cal Quantrill, again, all the advanced stats would tell you Cal Quantrill's not going to repeat the year. Oh, wait, he doesn't care about your ex whatever. He cares about pitching, and he's a great pitcher once again.
Yeah, Cal's 94 to 96 with good breaking stuff.
He's just so good. His command is so good. He attacks hitters. He throws strikes. He's a really good pitcher.
He is. Miami is 17. Speaking of good pitching, they've got.
You would have the Marlins above the Guardians?
I would.
Interesting. Why?
Pablo Lopez and Jesus Luzardo.
Yeah, that makes sense. They can pitch, but Avisel Garcia, Jorge Soler, I mean, pretty much everybody in their lineup's hitting below 200.
So how about this from Inside Edge? And this is in the article too. Highest slugging percentage against right-handed pitchers this year. Jesus Sanchez is number 1 with a 913 slugging against right-handed pitchers. J Ram is 2. Vladdy Jr. is 3.
Wow.
Jesus Sanchez and Jazz Chisholm are leading the way.
Who do you think finishes with more wins this year, the Guardians or the Marlins?
I think the Marlins. That pitching staff, if you were to rank that pitching staff, Aram and I just had this conversation.
It's top 10.
I said borderline top 5.
Yeah, it's in the 5 to 10 range, probably 7-ish. Yeah, I don't hate that. I do think the Guardians will end up with more wins. I think the addition of Stephen Kwan really does help because he's real. Owen Miller, we'll see. But Stephen Kwan is Stephen Kwan would be probably the best bat in the Marlins lineup right now.
In the Guardians or in the
Marlins lineup?
Stephen Kwan? Now, Sanchez is swinging a good bat. Aguilar is still in the lineup. Garrett Cooper's fine. Brian Anderson.
You want them over Stephen Kwan this year? Maybe Jesus Sanchez. Maybe not.
I'd want Jesus Sanchez and Jazz over Stephen Kwan, I think. And obviously Garcia and Soler.
I don't even know if I believe you.
I believe myself, which is the most important thing. Say everything with gusto, children. All right. 16 is Philly.
Accurate spot for him.
15's Milwaukee. They were 9. They're 15 now.
We didn't really talk at all about Philly. Should we give you the lowdown on the Philadelphia Phillies? The fact that they haven't gotten their offense started, the fact that their pitching hasn't gotten started either, and their bullpen's not helping anything?
Yeah, so I'm not worried about Philly's offense.
Me neither.
I'm petrified that Philly's pitching is gone.
I'm worried that Ranger Suarez is not going to duplicate what he did last year. I'm also worried that Aaron Nola will duplicate what he did last year. And Wheeler
through 2 starts has an ERA near 10.
Hasn't looked great. I think he's hurt.
You think so? Why?
I was looking at something. I want to look. I'm going to pull up Wheeler on Savant because if I'm not mistaken, when I was watching, because I only caught an inning of Wheeler, his velo looked down. And I'm right now, what I want to do is just fact check to see if that's been true this year.
Okay, so from NBC Sports Philly, Wheeler in the middle of March was dealing with some right shoulder soreness.
I knew it. Are you kidding me? Zach Wheeler's average fastball this year is 94.7 compared to last year, 97.2.
Okay, so it's probably from NBC Sports Philly, that right shoulder soreness that he was dealing with in mid-March.
If he's not healthy, the Phillies are screwed because that means Nola has to be an ace type pitcher. Suarez has to be, but actually the great thing is Kyle Gibson's been great.
Yeah, so Gibson's been the bright spot there, but I'm worried that Gibson's going to be the brightest spot. And if Kyle Gibson's the brightest spot for you, I don't think you're a contender like the Phillies were hoping they were going to be.
Phillies are just so polarizing. So many things can happen. That's why I was petrified of taking their over this year. It's just because there's so many different things working all in conjunction and differing from each other. There's just so much
stuff.
Static.
I hope you guys were watching on YouTube for that. Yeah, I hear you. Milwaukee, so Philly, obviously the offense, I think heats up as the weather heats up. I think they're going to go on a crazy run in June where they're putting up 10 runs in back-to-back games.
Would not be surprised.
Milwaukee's not going to do that. The offense doesn't look good whatsoever. And through the first 10 games, Brewers starting pitchers have logged a combined 4.96 ERA. Brewers starting pitchers.
Yeah. Bad starts from Freddie. There was a bad start there from Corbin Burns. There was a bad start there from Woodruff.
There were 2 bad starts from Woodruff.
Yeah, there were. Adrian Hauser, though, looked great. Eric Lauer looks good. Ashby looks good. I'm so confident in their starting pitching and their bullpen being totally fine. And that I think their offense will will them to enough games to still end up winning this division.
You're not worried about that offense? Arm brought up a good point. He was like, they need Luis Urias back so badly. And I said, okay, here's the thing. A team that is picked to win the division should never need to bank on Luis Urias coming back.
But Luis Urias is better than you're giving him credit for.
No, I give Luis Urias a lot of credit. I have throughout the entirety of his career. I've been high on Luis Urias, but I'm saying Luis Urias, what he can give to a big league team, I think it would be a different thing if we thought Luis Urias and Willy Adames had the same ceiling. If they were missing Adames right now, I would totally validate, oh my God, yeah, they need Adames back and then they'll be good. Urias is not that guy. He's going to come back and hit 6th for them. You're banking on your 6 hitter?
Yelich hasn't fully gotten going yet. He's hit a couple balls really hard that haven't landed yet. They're brewing. I think the offense got off to a slow start, but I think they're brewing. I think the Milwaukee Brewers will be much better than 15.
Yeah. Did you use that word because we're talking about the Brewers? They're brewing?
I didn't even think about that.
You said it.
I know. I didn't even put those two together in my head.
14 Seattle. They jumped 3 spots. They were 17 in the preseason. They're 14 now. Offense has been underwhelming, but Robbie Ray looks good. I'll give him credit for looking good. Logan Gilbert looks really good. Mm-hmm. And Matt Brash looks like the nastiest pitcher in Major League Baseball.
But the other side, Flexen doesn't look great, and Julio Rodriguez is striking out near 50% of the time. Like they have a +4 run differential. They're 5-5 with their center fielder basically being a non-factor. I like this team, the Mariners. I'm excited for the Mariners.
You think Kelenic? What do you think of Kelenic? I was going to try and plant something.
Kelenic.
I realized that I was leading you to plant something that I thought about Kelenic, and I didn't want to do that. So what do you think of Kelenic start to the year?
He's hit a couple balls hard. Defense isn't all it's cracked up to be.
He's never been a good defender. I don't know why anybody thought that he could play center. There's a reason I guess J-Rod got an aggressive promotion.
I think that was what I've been told. And then I watched him and I was like, oh, this guy can move over to center. He's great off. And I'm like, looks like Winker out there. Yeah. I mean, he looks like a fine left fielder. And the bat, I mean, when he makes contact, he can really barrel up a baseball. And the swing looks good-ish. I'm not surprised by a little bit of a slower start.
Yeah.
Are you? I mean, tell me what you were thinking there.
I'm not surprised that it's a slow start at all. I'm not saying my ship has left the dock on Kelnick, but I'm saying
Definitely
that
not.
we're I'm saying that I'm getting ready to limit his ceiling.
I don't think that's unfair of you. But I also do think we should give him a little bit more time.
Yeah, he should absolutely get more time. He's 22
Absolutely.
years old, right?
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
still so young.
I'm ready to. I think if I see this for 2 more weeks, I think I'm ready to start limiting his ceiling. Having said that, Andres Munoz throws 103 miles an hour in their bullpen, and Munoz is great. And then he can turn it over to somebody like Steckenrider, who's kick ass, and Diego Castillo kicks ass too. The pen is going to be elite for them.
It's funny. Munoz throws 103, but he relies more on his slider.
And his slider
so much, and it's disgusting. I mean, he looks like Edwin Diaz. He looks like a young Edwin Diaz back on the Mariners, where Edwin Diaz originally started from. That's what he looks like to me.
There we go. San Diego's 13.
Probably accurate.
What do you think of Mackenzie Gore's start?
Looked kind of good.
I loved it.
He looked good, didn't he?
I loved it.
I'm willing to buy back in. I mean, I already kind of bought back in. I never left. I never really left.
No, you never left.
Never left.
I don't think Aram ever left either. I think everybody else in the baseball world left.
I think you might be right. There was definitely some wavering. I never left. I was just like, I'm not going to bag on him for post-COVID walks. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's always had such good command. There seemed to be a mental block. I was like, the stuff is still good. He's still so young. I love the way he commands on the mound. I'm not giving up on him. And good thing I didn't.
I think he's nasty. His fastball looks lively. He's got command of the fastball. He's got to throw his slider and his changeup more because the slider and the changeup are elite. And I'm telling you,
his changeup is so good.
His changeup's so good. When you see a start, and I think it's going to happen very soon. I think it's going to happen within the next month. You'll see Mackenzie Gore have 3 of his 4 pitches on: fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. When 3 of those pitches are on and when he can put them anywhere, he's going to go through 6 innings of shutout ball.
Mm-hmm.
I will stamp that. 6 shutout innings coming from Mackenzie Gore, I'll say, in his next 5 starts, because he's going to have 3 or 4 pitches on.
When's Clevenger coming back?
I don't know. Let's look that up.
Let's look that up.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Don't worry. Mike Clevenger return date. 31-year-old Clevenger set to return according to ESPN. Loading. Let
me find some weird stats on my computer screen. Cleveland Guardians have not won a home game, but are yet 4-5. That's something. Oakland Athletics have not played a game at home. They haven't had their home opener yet.
Correct.
I didn't know that. Neither have the Astros.
Here, we'll cut this.
Okay.
I can't find anywhere where he's coming back. All right.
Hold on.
I don't know when Clevenger's coming back, but even if it takes him some time, Musgrove looks really good. Snell was scratched. That allowed Gore to come up, and you'll get Snell back very soon. Darvish is hot and cold. We know that about you.
The most hot and cold pitcher ever. You give up 10 earned runs, and then you come right back and throw a shutout. And that's before the 10-run outing was a no-hitter. He's the most hot and cold pitcher that we have in our league.
Dude, he's brutal. But then Minaya is another steady hand.
Oh, he's been great so far.
Yeah, he starts tonight against Lodolo. Obviously, you know, this will happen before you guys listen to it. But last night it was Minaya and Lodolo, which I'm excited to watch.
I'm on Padres for the first 5 innings.
Interesting. Okay.
Fading a rookie pitcher on the road in his first start, and the Reds, you know, they cannot hit lefties to save their life.
Yeah, that makes sense. Red Sox are 12.
Good spot.
Yankees 11.
Bad spot.
Okay. Red Sox, Devers, Bogarts, and Verdugo are hitting the ball well. Story is not. Pitching, we said pitching was going to be a serious concern. Here we are with the pitching concerns.
Here we are with the pitching concerns. Good thing is Garrett Whitlock looks great in the back end. But if we're looking at their starting rotation, Nick Pivetta had a tough start. Tanner Houck has had a tough start. And now Tanner Houck can't pitch in Toronto this week due to not being vaccinated. Sale is still on the shelf. Eovaldi has been good, not great. If Eovaldi is not elite, this team is in trouble because Eovaldi has to give you what he gave you last year for this team to really compete. And when I say really compete, I mean compete to win a division or be in the wild card hunt. But if he's not, this is an 84 to 86 win team. I think they're good at around 12, but I think the Yankees should be a top 10 team. And the only reason I'm saying that is because of how good their pitching looked and how we know that their offense is going to heat up. Defense looks better. Bullpen is, I mean, they're leading in bullpen ERA, staff ERA. They're either 1 or 2. And it's just the offense that hasn't gotten going yet, but we all know it will. That's why I actually think the Yankees should be higher than 11.
Okay, so the only reason I'm docking them, they were preseason 10, they're 11 now, is because the offense hasn't gotten going. And the beautiful thing about these power rankings is you change them every week or every other week. So there we go.
I'm definitely not upset.
Yankees are not scoring runs, like you said.
Yeah.
Through their first 10 games, they're scoring 3 runs a game. 30 runs is more than nobody except the Tigers, Royals, Diamondbacks, and Orioles.
Tigers, yeah. Damn. God, that sucks to hear.
Sucks to hear.
We're talking about the Brewers. They can't hit, and they have more runs than the Yankees.
Correct. St. Louis is 10.
Yeah, makes sense. You worried about their pitching?
I'm not worried about their bullpen because I think their bullpen is top 5 in baseball.
Matt's had a really good start.
Matt's had a good start. Matt's is not going to string together starts like that. I think we know that.
And he was also facing an inept team against lefties.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not slamming the panic button on their starting rotation because the bullpen is great and will bail them out of a lot of stuff. And the offense looks so good, highlighted by Nolan Arenado. He's the hottest hitter on the planet right now.
Can we talk about our top 10 third base rankings? Because we put him at 3. We know that he's going to deliver. Like, we know he's going to do it, and he's doing it right now. That's the Nolan Arenado special, and he looks great defensively at third base, too. Again, of course he does.
Through 8 games, he's got 12 driven in and a 1,500 OPS.
I saw him make such a nice, it wasn't really a diving play, but it would have been for everybody else. It was just like a nice slide at third, chucked it over to Goldschmidt at first. He's so good.
Angels have jumped 7 spots from 16 to 9.
6-4 positive run differential. And I don't hate it. It's high.
I needed to see a lot from Noah Syndergaard, and I saw more than a lot from Noah Syndergaard.
We're seeing a 2. We're seeing a good Syndergaard. Sandoval's been decent. Yeah. Detmers. Okay.
Detmers hasn't been good, but Shohei and Syndergaard is the 1-2 is really strong.
It is really strong, but I saw Shohei gave up a grand slam to Jonah Heim.
Yeah.
Will that ever happen in the history of baseball ever again?
No,
Shohei
never
Ohtani
again.
giving up a grand slam to a catcher or
Actually,
backup-ish, starter-ish.
Actually, maybe because Jonah Heim is him. Capital H him.
I'm not out on that. Happy Easter.
You just got to take away an E. Yeah. Happy Easter. Indeed,
Happy Passover. Happy Ramadan. Happy everything that you celebrate.
Yeah, true. So the Angels, that's where I have them. Matt Duffy and Tyler Wade have been really good to help them out. Shohei was slow out of the gates. He's heated up. Mike Trout gets out of bed and has him 1,000 OPS. And then Marsh and Adele, I'm not worried about. Stassi, I'm not that worried about. So it'll be interesting.
Did you see the clip of Ohtani giving CPR to his bat? Ever since then, he's hitting over 300.
Yeah, that was big time. Ohtani seems funny as hell.
He does seem funny. He just seems like a really, and it's, I was watching a TikTok too. The Angels did this whole thing where it's like, whose life would you rather have? And I thought they would all pick Mike Trout, but almost all of them picked Ohtani.
Why? Probably because he's just a superstar in Japan. He might be
exactly, but Mike Trout, you don't want $450 million.
Yeah, but Mike Trout did those like C- Subway commercials. That's a hard knock on the resume.
Let's go to number 8.
Okay, number 8's Tampa Bay.
Yeah. See, yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, I would say like the Rays pitching has been bad and they've been losing to like the A's, but then again, the Yankees lost to the Orioles. My thinking is, do you put the Rays over the Yankees in these power rankings? But right now, the Rays, we still think will be better to end the year. And it's not like the Yankees have been playing this tough competition. So yeah, I actually, first inclination was, but I do like it.
Yeah, and they only took 1 of 3 from the White Sox, but they were in Chicago playing the White Sox. Like, that's a very hard opponent. Shane McClanahan also looks awesome, but we've already talked about that. So moving on. 7, Houston. A lot of that is because of Justin Verlander.
I think Houston should be higher than 7. Definitely.
Okay.
Their pitching is unreal, and their offense hasn't fully gotten going yet because they do have the least amount of runs scored. So now I get what you're saying in the NL West, if they're going to be right now, because they do have a -1 run differential. I could see how you'd say that, but I've been really impressed with Houston's pitching. Yeah.
Pitching. Framber Valdez is elite. Verlander is Verlander. Luis Garcia looks strong. And then fill it in with whoever else.
Funny, through 10 games, the Astros have the least amount of runs scored in their division, the same division with the A's, the Angels, the Rangers, and the Mariners.
Yeah.
And like we're talking about how much the Brewers offense is struggling and how, they won't ever find a way out. Houston Astros and Milwaukee Brewers, same amount of runs scored as we're currently recording.
Yeah. 6 is the White Sox. They were 4 in the preseason. They kept on winning. They're 6-3. That's why they're this high. Yeah. If the results actually followed my worries, they'd be 9 or 10, I think. The White Sox are 6 because of what's happening on the field.
I think that's fair. 6-3, can't hate it. I just look and I see a lot of problems, but whatever those problems that have arisen, they're still winning ball games. And like they beat the Rays 2 out of 3. They're winning. So I agree. 6 is totally good for them.
Atlanta's 5.
5 and 6, the Atlanta Braves?
I think so.
And they're at 5?
Yeah, they're at 5 because you watch, and I'm just so impressed with. I'm so impressed with Matt Olson.
The pitching has been terrible, though.
Except Kyle Wright.
Max Fried has had a couple of bad starts. Ian Anderson had a huge blow-up start, but then he came back and had a good start. Charlie Morton had a big blow-up start, too. I understand what you're saying because this won't keep happening to the Braves pitching, and they're hitting. I mean, they have 46 runs scored. That's second in their division. And Matt Olson looks better than Freddie Freeman.
Dude, Matt Olson, he's a superstar. It's so fun to watch him hit.
He's a scary hitter. He really is. He's turning into one of those guys. Well, he already kind of was, but he truly is now on the Braves. That guy, when he comes up to the plate and you're like, oh no. If you're rooting for the other team, oh no, that's the oh no type of hitter.
Right. That's that East Coast bias. Shout out Chris Longo.
And I'm starting to feel that about Luis Robert.
Yeah.
The oh no, he's up. Like, oh shit, how hard is he going to hit this ball?
Yeah. That's how I feel about Springer now. And we'll get to the Jays.
Oh, yeah. The Blue Jays have 4 hitters I do that to.
Vladdy, Springer, Bichette, Teoscar?
Yep.
Okay. The Mets are 4.
Yeah.
They jumped from 7
make
to
the
4.
argument they could be higher. They have the best run differential in baseball. Their pitching, they don't allow runs. Tyler McGill looks like a freaking Cy Young candidate. Max Scherzer is doing Max Scherzer type things. Chris Bassett looks great. Even
Carlos Carrasco.
Carlos Carrasco looks great. Even David Peterson threw them a couple of good innings too. They pitch. Their bullpen has been good, and they're hitting. They have the most runs scored in the division. The Mets look great.
Frankie frickin' Lindor.
Multiple home runs, 2 in a game. He's Lindor. We knew what we were going to get. And Pete Alonso has a bunch of RBIs. He's one of the league leaders in RBIs.
Yes, sir. 3, San Francisco. They jumped from 8 to 3.
What did I say?
Here's what I said in the article. Quote, our fault again for underestimating the San Francisco Giants.
Don't group me into our fault.
I think that's me and Aram.
I will never doubt the Giants again. Jack, I learned last year when I bet against them a bunch of times and just every single day I'd lose. Every time I bet on the Giants, I'd lose. I watch it. I'm like, they just know what they're doing. They know how to figure it out. They platoon better than everybody. They're so deep. The pitching, Rodon looks like a top 5 pitcher. We're going to start doing our top 10 pitchers. And we made our list, Jack. Carlos Rodon has to be in our honorable mentions, or at least something. He is unbelievable. He looks like the best pitcher in baseball when he takes the mound lately.
Probably. Rodon, my thing is I've seen this already.
I know.
I've seen this
you're
show like 2 times, 3 times.
You're right.
But right now, and San Francisco is the pitcher whisperers. We know that. So am I going to be so angry when Rodon puts together a whole year? Yeah, I will be pissed. I'll be so livid, but I'm also going to cry tears of joy for Carlos Rodon. But the trio of Webb, Rodon, and Alex Wood has been really solid.
And Alex Cobb is great. Their whole rotation, again, it's great. The bullpen is great again, and the offense can really hit too. I mean, let's just look at where they are in terms of run scoring. Not great so far, but a plus 23 run differential. They've only given up 20 runs so far. That leads all of Major League Baseball.
There we go. So, boom. Toronto's 2.
Yeah, they're better than Giants, huh?
Yeah.
Why?
Offense.
Yeah. I mean, Giants have more runs scored this year.
Yeah, but look at the lineup.
Every single angle, the Giants have been better than the Blue Jays this year.
The lineup card, when Charlie Montoyo
when you
turns
go lineup card versus lineup card, it's drastically different because you got
pull
like
out
Darren
my
Ruff.
planner here, and I write in there, I say I need to watch the Blue Jays game tonight because the lineup needs to be into my eyes and seeping into my brain.
All right. I think if we're doing like current, I mean, -3 run differential, they do lead the division, 6-4 in the AL East in the toughest division, but they haven't looked amazing. Bo Bichette has not gotten going yet. All right. I'm fine with them there though. I mean, they do rake and they're going to be one of the best teams in baseball this year.
Yeah. Dodgers top dog.
Yep. No debate there. Absolutely. And they will continue to be the top dog.
Andrew Heaney looked like Cy Young. Granted, it was against Cincinnati.
Andrew Heaney had an ERA over 7 with the Yankees. And my guy, Sam Lucchini, hopefully he's listening to this. He edits a lot of our videos, and he's really a great contributor here at Just Baseball. He came out with a great YouTube video talking about the Andrew Heaney experience and how all Yankee fans were over the moon excited when they DFA'd him. And now what does he do? That high spin fastball actually works, and he's locating it. The slider looked amazing. The Heen dog has reinvented himself in Los Angeles to the peril of all Yankee fans.
Did Sam use that line?
No, I just made that up right now.
That's good.
I made that very dramatic.
That's really good. That was perfect.
All right, cool.
It was phenomenal. Good job.
Damn it. We do this all the time. Whenever we have just like a good transition or a good line, we're just like, yeah, that was great.
It was dope. Sweet. But that's when you acknowledge it, right? Instead of saying, whoa. So there it is. 1 through 30, whole list, explanations available to read at justbaseball.com.
And also go check out the Chalkboard baseball group chat. You like talking baseball day? And guess what? You have to pay for it. Just kidding. It's free. All you got to do is click the link in the episode description. Link is in there. You press it, download the app. It's free. We talk baseball all day long. Also, give us a follow on Twitter at JustBBmedia. We're making so much content on TikTok and Instagram. You people know the drill at Just Baseball Fans. Check out our friends at Loop, breaking cards every single second. Think of it as like a Twitch X, your local card shop. That link is in the episode description as well. Jack, that's all we got for the people today. I thought this was a great episode because the power rankings were pretty solid. I thought you did a very good job.
Yeah, I told everybody on social media to grill me and tell me why I'm such an idiot, but I've only seen a couple people call me a doofus. So I'm pretty in on that. I would prefer if more people called me a doofus because the haters fuel me, much like Kyrie Irving.
We were talking pre-record about the Kyrie Irving. Like, I love the back and forth between Kyrie Irving and the media and the fans. Like, just the whole Kyrie Irving experience makes me very happy to consume that type of media.
Oh God, I love sports, dude. I love entertainment.
And we'll be back tomorrow and Thursday and Friday. We got top 5 DHs coming at you, and we got top 10 starting pitchers to end all of our top 10s. You can go find the others on justbaseball.com or in past weeks' episodes. And with that, Jack, do we got anything else?
No, I think it's funny. Monday through Friday, we're turning into like a daily talk show. I kind of dig that.
Talking about daily talk show. How about the State of the Division podcast? That
Oh,
is in the episode description as well. I did the AL East with our guy Colby Olson. Jack did the AL Central with Ryan Miller. And you will hear the rest of the divisions on the State of the Division podcast. Go check that out. And with that, thank you, everybody.